Previously on Cars with Miles, Miles and Company attempted to stage 2 an Audi S5.
Yeah, the transmission malfunction.
Oh.
And, well...
That is oil that we found on the ground. That is a lot of oil.
This is not good at all.
Yes! 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 That has been a struggle for sure.
This is the most...
I feel like I just saw a bunch of shit fly up. You don't see that?
What does it smell like?
I mean, this strut is effectively broken. This is really... I'm never working on an Audi again.
Every time we finish something and we think we're getting closer to the end, it just seems to get... The end just seems to get further and further away.
I think we might have actually just ruined this car.
After returning to Dirty Jersey, Miles had the S5 towed to a shop to find out what the hell went wrong in Atlanta.
So we got to get this car addressed. We got to get this car diagnosed. And so this is where we kind of have to have an actual shop with real professionals who seemingly know what they're doing, step in and help us out a bit. So we took it to this shop called and they gave us a diagnosis on the car, probably like a month after everything went down. And what we found was, I don't know how to feel about it. It's on one hand, I'm relieved, and on the other hand, I'm like, how could we have been so stupid?
Pushed it in the shop. So did you get a chance to read the notes that the technician put on there?
I saw the notes. I guess I'm just looking for, like, for you guys to elaborate, just to get a full scope of what we're dealing with.
All right, so just very first inspection of it, popped the hood up and looked at it. There are 4 seals that go on the crossover pipe for the supercharger.
Okay.
The coolant crossover pipe. 2 of those 4 seals were completely missing, and it blew coolant out all over the place.
Right.
It wasn't bolted to the supercharger, or if it was, the bolt came loose because when we opened it up, there was no bolts holding the crossover pipe to the supercharger.
Got
it. Basically just puking out coolant everywhere.
Okay.
The other thing is that we found right off the bat is the oil cooler for the transmission oil cooler, the line for the transmission oil cooler was completely separated. So all of the transmission fluid has been puked out.
So that's where the oil leak came from.
Right, yep. There's almost no transmission fluid in there. So basically as a starting point, just to see, just so we can get it sealed up and take a temperature, basically we'd have to do a GSG service, replace those seals, and then pressurize the cooling system, and then we can start to see what else needs to happen, if anything else. Okay.
Right. Could be worse. Could be worse. So basically, when we took apart stuff, trying to get that pulley off, there were basically seals that we did not put back on, and there was an oil line that was connected to the transmission that we completely forgot to reconnect somehow, or maybe disconnected without knowing. So yeah, that makes sense. Our brains were absolutely fried. But this sounds not as bad as it looked on paper. Okay. Well, I guess the car is not completely cooked. I hope. One little piece of rubber cost me thousands more in repair bills, which is fun. Very, very fun. But regardless, it's good to know that the car can be saved and we didn't completely destroy it, and there's now a chance for us to actually finish this build as we intended. And so that's what we're gonna do.
With the Audi's transmission seemingly plugged up, it was time to get the gang back together and head back to Atlanta.
Okay, it is July 14th? So it's almost been 2 full months since we were right here trying to put this Audi together. And so, effectively, this is like round 2 where we hopefully are actually going to finish what we started. Today is all about fixing this strut right here, which we broke, installing it the first time. And then if we finish that with enough time today, then hopefully we can get to fixing this front bumper's fitment, because it looks fine at certain angles, but in other angles it's definitely a little off. So Grant is here. Vince is not here. He had other stuff, important matters he had to attend to, but he will be here later in the week. So it's just us for now. But I think we got this.
We got it.
Yeah,
Easy.
absolutely. Yeah, I hope this goes well. There's a lot of lessons we learned from the last go around. Mostly to just be prepared, I think, and not bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
So we have effectively another 3-4 days to try to finish what we started, but I think we can do that. Bumper, strut, carbon parts, carbon paddles, and then cleaning her up, getting her nice and clean, because she has not seen like a car wash, I don't think, since we started this. Yeah. All right.
Let's get to it.
All right, so first things first is replacing the strut. As you can see, the car is sitting low, and it looks cool. You know, but that's not supposed to be like that because it doesn't match the rest of the car. Basically, this little pin right here broke on the strut that is currently on the car. And so here we have a new strut with the pin intact. Not the biggest fan of this design, to say the least, but that's what we're gonna have to rock with. So we're just gonna be replacing this, and then hopefully the suspension should be complete. That's effectively it. That's all we gotta do. It will be a bit of a process just because Audi likes to put screws in very uncomfortable places to access. But we should hopefully get this done in maybe the next like 2-3 hours. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right, we got the strut tower out. Now we just have to replace the strut with the new one, get it back in, which will be annoying because we're missing a handful of tools. And then, theoretically, this should be done. We should be done with the suspension part of this build. All right, so we got it done. We're gonna get some beauty shots of the car. First of all, this car is like, it's real dirty. It might not translate on camera, but we got this side done and we measured it. It's dead even with the other side. And yeah, it's sitting nice and low, lower than it was stock for sure. And the bigger 19-inch wheel size definitely feels better. I feel like some spacers would kind of like perfect it, but that's something that that David might want to do on his own time. But the car's sitting nice. Now the suspension is fully functioning again.
Even.
Yes, fully even. So I guess now we're gonna have to probably take the wheels off again so that we can address this bumper, because that right there is a no-no. That is a big, big no-no. We want to get rid of that and really just dial in this fitment in general. And then I think after that, we could probably just call it for the day, right? Yeah, okay, so bumper next. So with not too much effort, actually, we were able to fix the bumper fitment, as you can see. Let me see if I can get a little bit brighter. Yeah, 6400. Yeah, as you can see, it is definitely, the fitment is better. We're gonna have beauty shots when the car is all like gussied up, but I mean, it's much better. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better. That is a dent. That is why that looks weird on that side. But otherwise, fitment is fine. All it really took was just making an adjustment to the headlight, and then we were able to get it in there. And now it's starting to look like a real car, you know? And so, because we still have some daylight left and we finished, like, basically our 2 tasks for the day, we're going to move forward. We decided we are going to attempt to tune the car tonight. which is kind of scary because if you mess up a tune on your car, that's it. That's it. There's no going back. There's no taking it to the shop. It's over. It's literally game over. So I'm going to be a little bit terrified while doing this. I have actually tuned a car before. I had a 328 back in the day, so I tuned it to get like an extra 8 horsepower basically. But that was like nerve-wracking. I was totally shitting my pants, and I definitely will be for this too, because this is a much more special project than my old 328. So we're gonna do it. We can just basically run the tune on my smartphone. So that's what we're gonna do next. And then after that's done, everything else is smooth sailing. We're just gonna install all the carbon bits for the car, and then I guess the shift paddles. I keep forgetting we have to do that. That might take some time. But I mean, theoretically, if the tune doesn't take too long, we might actually be able to finish this car tonight. Theoretically. Day one. Which would be pretty crazy. I didn't plan for that. So yeah, wish us luck.
We solved that suspension issue in the front in a matter of 2-3 hours, and then we went right into the bumper. All we had to do was, realign the headlight, adjust the headlight placement a little bit, and the bumper looked like it fit perfectly, like perfectly meshed in like a puzzle piece. When we did it last time, we were just so tired. So I was kind of just like, dumbfounded of why did we try and stay up and do these things.
All right, so we realized that last time we spent an all-nighter working on the car, our decision-making power and ability just like went downhill. And I feel like an ECU tune of all things, we should be sharp of mind, like peak cerebral condition, right? So we're gonna skip the ECU tune for now and do that tomorrow in the morning after we get some brain food in our system. For now, why are you tripping over stuff? For now, we're gonna do the carbon bits on the car. So that includes side skirts, that includes a diffuser I have back in there, and then a trunk spoiler, carbon, of course. So carbon trunk spoiler, carbon side skirts, and a carbon diffuser. We're gonna get those on, and then after that we're gonna call it for the night, get some sleep, and then get at it tomorrow, because we've made a lot of progress today already. Getting the carbon stuff on would put us ahead for tomorrow, where all we have to do is then the paddle shifters, the ECU tune, and then we're done. That's it. Well, then the exhaust install the following day, but as far as work we have to do, we're done.
All that's left to finish on the S5, installing the carbon bits, getting it tuned, installing new paddle shifters, and getting the AWE exhaust installed so she can really sing. What the hell could possibly go wrong?
Despite it only being half of the team, Grant and I were actually cruising. We finished the suspension in a super reasonable amount of time. We realized that we couldn't get the bumper to fit right initially because our brains were absolutely fried. And so all it took was some slight adjusting of the headlights, and we got the bumper to fit fine. And I mean, it's not 1000%, but no aftermarket bumper ever will be without some serious fabrication work. And so, man, I was really confident of where we were on just like the first day of working on this car. Our progress was S tier. You got the carbon fiber trunk lid spoiler on right now, and it is looking very clean. Canadian Auto Performance, very high quality carbon fiber finish. You get the nice little middle lip section. I'm not even making any sense. We have this nice little middle lip section right here. And yeah, it's looking good. Once we get the rest of the parts on here, it's going to look very complete. One thing we must do is the diffuser. Once we get the diffuser on, it's going to feel like this makes sense. It's going to feel more OEM plus. Side skirts are on both sides. Looks good. Ignore the wheel fitment because we've been jacking the car on and off, so the car needs to settle, and you can't really see it on that side. Yeah. The car needs to settle, and so we'll get the beauty shots. Trust me, we'll get there. We'll get there. But we ran into another problem. I think our diffuser is not the right part. I think this may be for like a B9 or something like that, because it's not fitting. The clips are not lining up. Yeah, that's a huge issue we're having. And so it is like literally midnight, and so we're going to have to, yeah, that is not
I mean, like,
the same at all.
also like the tips basically like right here,
Yeah.
like those don't look.
Yeah, it's something is not adding up. And so it's midnight. We're going to have to contact Canadian Auto Performance in the morning and see if we can get a part maybe overnighted or something, and get that addressed so that we can have the completed carbon look.
Or at least like confirm this
Confirm
part number, like
that it, yeah.
We'll give them that part number that's on that, or
Because if we find out that is the right part, then
we
I
just
guess
gotta figure out how to.
we just got to figure out how to get it on.
But-
But if not, then yeah, we got to get a new one. But we have the spoiler. We have the side skirts. Yeah, we just need the diffuser to match, and then the carbon paddles for the interior, and then that's it. I am crazy tired. It is time to sleep. Good night. That is what you're going to hear after we finish the magnetic carbon paddle shifter install from Canadian Auto Performance on the Audi S5. So let's get this installed. Hopefully this shouldn't take too long, but from what I've seen online, from the few tutorials I've seen online, which there are not many, especially for this specific generation of Audi, might take a little bit of time just dealing with plastic clips and whatnot. So let's get it started. All right, so surprisingly, it's actually not as bad finding the clip to release on the steering wheel, because unlike on my stupid BMW M3 steering wheel, you can actually see the pin. I just put my phone in the corner and use that as a mirror. Matter of fact, might as well film it. So you could see the pin right here. You could see the pin right here, unlike my BMW. So all you have to do is get back there and start to try to, it's can be a little tricky, but believe me, it is actually better than doing it on a BMW steering wheel. This is the one Audi mechanical W, and then boom, it's out. And then twist it to the other side, and you have the other pin, and then it's out. You wouldn't believe how long that took me with my BMW. Literally like an hour plus just to do that part. Alright, so finagling the plastic was the hardest part of getting the wheel off. Removing the airbag itself was actually really easy. But these shifters are in. We'll have the beauty shots later, but for now we have our clicky clicky clicky. I like that. Alright, so let's connect the battery, the negative terminal, and then hopefully the airbag doesn't explode. Alright, hopefully the airbag doesn't blow up in my face. No codes?
No airbag light?
No airbag light? Shift test, because we're stationary. Oh, it says replace something. Oh! It's the video. I'm like, it says replace steering. I'm like, bro, no. No. Okay. So we got the suspension and the bumper done. The next biggest thing we had to deal with was the tune. And this is scary because unlike the other stuff, to an extent, you mess up a tune, that's it. There is no do-over. The car is done. If you fry your ECU, it's over. It's actually over. This is effectively a 30-something hundred pound paperweight. So I was nervous, to say the least. But okay, we're gonna do this. Transmission, and this is just the update. Flash to stock. Blinking a lot down there.
Say a rave.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got like an RGB. You would think like a Corsair made this or something. The way it's just like, and whenever it hovers on a number for more than like 5 seconds, I'm like, fuck.
If they mess this up, well, the only shop they'll be seeing is the dealer, because they're gonna need a whole new car.
Clearing faults. Man, this is a terrible day for landscaping.
I was like, is that outside?
Wait.
Is it here? So it says complete.
Says flashed. Is that the car? That's the car.
It might be.
I say we just turn her on. Alright. We're just gonna start it up.
Okay.
Alright. Go.
Any new faults? Any new anything?
No new faults. Check engine is done. We still have the TPMS, but I think that'll go away after we run the car. Because TPMS sensor to reset the car has to be driving.
Yeah.
That's 4.5.
That's 4.5. That is low.
Hearing that supercharger whine was... I was so happy. I was so happy just because I knew, yes, we're finally on the other side of this, actually. And at this point, we just gotta button some things up, have her looking pretty, and we'll be done in quicker time than I honestly thought it would take. That is so sick. That is so sick.
Smell something. I don't know if it's.
No, I smell that too. Oh. What is that?
It's from the exhaust. Shh. Like, I don't know.
How though?
I have no idea. It's just fuel. It's extra fuel.
Okay, so I mean, we got some fuel spitting.
Fuel.
Some fuel smells. Let's check for leaks. Okay, there is a tiny leak coming from the center.
Transmission?
You see that?
Yeah. Do we know what it is? I guess we don't know what it is.
I guess we should probably pull it forward and make sure it's not anything
Yeah.
catastrophic. Alright, so the tune is done. At least we think so. I'm checking with our 034 contact to make sure the little thing we did notice, like the the black smut that came out of the exhaust, just making sure that's normal. But other than that, the car sounds unreal, and I can't wait to get on the road and drive this thing. And so our last thing we're going to try to do today is get this diffuser that actually doesn't fit on the B8.5 Audi S5. We're going to try to see if we can like retrofit it, basically. What's the word? What is the word for like... Wow, I'm blanking right now. We're going to try to see if we can get this carbon diffuser to fit on the S5, even though we're pretty confident this is not supposed to go on this car. But we're going to see if we can get it to fit, because we have the side skirts, we have the carbon spoiler up top, so not having the diffuser kind of sucks. And so because of the tariff situation, shout out Donald Trump, it's effectively impossible to get a new diffuser here before we before we have to go. So yeah, this tariff situation sucks. Kind of looks like it should fit a little bit, but
Nah.
no, it's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, we can probably get something to work, but like this is very like the actual diffuser we have, but for what we have is very like flat and straight, like more of a like it's not 90, but it's like it's more of a 90 than this. This is very like curved. It's not super like squared off like this is squared off. So you know, pretty much. I mean, I'm just gonna right now. I'm gonna attach the bolts to the bottom to kind of keep it held up. Because it keeps falling down. But pretty much just gonna be cutting all these off or notching them in some way to shove them in there, and at least enough so we can take some shots with it.
Yeah, that part ain't gonna fit. But isn't it more fun to watch them try?
All right, let's get this bad boy started up. Sweet. All right, so for now we're just gonna take it super chill. Right now it is just like unbelievably calm. I guess what I'll do is I'll let it run for another couple of minutes and then we'll try to give it some proper rips. I will say the suspension, you can definitely feel the sportier ride it's now got. I'm kind of just like waiting for a bomb to drop, but it so far seems like there is no bomb. Just giving it light acceleration, you can hear that supercharger just ready to go. I'm gonna roll the window a bit so you can hear that supercharger doing its thing. Still not pushing the car a whole lot. Driving this car for the first time since getting everything in there was awesome. I realized, we're probably gonna need a bolt check on the suspension because we did a pretty amateur job on it. So there was a few like knocking sounds, but other than that, powertrain wise, we could feel the new power of the tune. The car absolutely screamed on the front end, and all we needed was the exhaust to complete it. Going up and down in the gears was just, man, I was really on top of the world, honestly.
It was such an awesome feeling being able for us to drive this car for more than a mile. At the end of it, we felt accomplished. We were excited. We truly felt like we were on top of everything.
But yeah, so far so good. No lights on the dash. Dare I say the car works? 60-mile-an-hour pull. Successful. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I'm really happy with this so far. Just the fact that it's not blowing up. I'm gonna leave the camera rolling just in case anything unexpected happens, but so far the car is running fine. No check engine lights, no codes. We're doing good.
After giving the S5 its first proper shakedown, Miles and Grant would then try to grab some stock exhaust clips. It was then that they'd realised something was very wrong.
I'm doing pull after pull after pull, and now there's starting to be like huge gusts of smoke coming out after every hard acceleration and shift. I don't think that's supposed to happen. We have a stock exhaust and stock cat, so I feel like the car shouldn't be smoking, but it's not coming from the front, so I'm assuming like it's not anything like crazy.
I filmed a couple different shots, and as I'm filming some flybys, I'm noticing some white smoke. It's not a constant smoke. It's only on like upshift. I'm not thinking too much about it. It's because there was some smoke already. It wasn't until we were parked and I noticed that the car was still kind of smoking, and it wasn't coming from the exhaust tips.
I pull in to the parking lot, and you can call me Gary, because I was absolutely snail trailing oil, to be specific. Snail trailing oil. Snail trailing oil. So I guess we should show them outside first. So we ran the car for some flybys, and there's some liquids on the ground.
That's water. That's oil. Water. Oil. Yeah, we did a flyby, and there was like smoke that way.
It was a lot of smoke, though.
Yeah.
So we're getting this one diagnostic. It says PCV regulator valve performance. So that's one fault code we're getting, so I guess we just have to see what that fault code means. This is strange, though, because the car is...
The car seems fine. Like,
as far as like actual performance, it seems fine. Yeah, oil level's good. So where this oil would be coming from, assuming this is indeed... I mean, that's gotta be right. Why else would be leaking like that?
I mean, that's a lot.
That is a lot. What I'm thinking is the case is that the tune has accelerated a potentially pre-existing issue, because it doesn't, the car was running fine, and I think just driving the car somewhat hard. Granted, we haven't been going crazy. We've done, a handful of red line pulls and whatnot, and taking it to freeway speeds, but it seems like the tune might have just caused a problem that was maybe slowly developing to quickly develop, because this tune is asking more of the car. So we ran some codes, and there's a PCV fault, and this is something that's going to go bad on Audis, whether you tune them or not, or at least this specific generation of Audi. This part's going to go. It's just another one of those cheap plastic German parts that go bad no matter what you do. And so the diagnosis said that the fault was unconfirmed, and so we don't actually know if that's the case, but the car's smoking and leaking oil now, so we're like, it must be, right? So we're like, oh, we'll see about getting this addressed, and potentially a shop could just tackle it in one day, but that's assuming that we can get the replacement parts for this system in time. Yeah, I mean, whatever this is very likely not getting resolved this week. Probably not. But hopefully the car can stay together long enough that it doesn't become, an issue of like catastrophic failure or something like that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take it back, take a look at it, and then hopefully nothing worse happens before the exhaust install tomorrow. We can't miss another appointment. We've already missed one. We can't miss another. All right, we're gonna get this thing boom.
These boys just can't catch a break, innit? This Audi's had more leaks than iCloud in 2009. Miles and Grant's next step were to spend the rest of the day finding a shop that would inspect the S5 ASAP.
So new game plan, we found a shop that's 20 minutes away. We're gonna take the car. It's like 7 in the morning right now, so hopefully we can at least understand what the issue is by midday, and then kind of go from there as to whether they can resolve the PCV issue, assuming that is true, because in the app it said the issue was not confirmed, whatever that means. But I mean, the oil leak is happening for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why, but maybe it's just old oil from the last time that we messed it up. Maybe it's from something else entirely. We don't know, but we're gonna leave right now and figure this out. So the next morning, Grant and I wake up and take it to this shop called Rocco's. They were just basically the first shop that works on European cars who could take it. And so we go over there first thing in the morning, and leave the car with them. So we dropped the car off here at Rocco's European Performance. They're gonna take a look at the car. He already spotted from a mile away that we had OW3 or O3W stuff on the car. So he already knows like what we're doing, and he didn't turn us away, even though we've modified this ourselves. So that's good. And now we wait. Now we wait to see what happens, and hopefully the car is not cooked. Then we come back to Rocco's some hours later after just messing around, and yeah, they showed us something real interesting.
When Rocco's finished their inspection of the S5, they revealed something to Miles that will put the last 2 months of progress into question.
Upon their inspection, we hadn't like properly sealed up one of the coolant lines to the transmission. And to the supercharger. Yeah. And then but I guess that tripped up the transmission somehow, and it started like leaking oil and coolant like crazy. This is everything they did. GSG, replacing coolant seals, cooling system. Yeah, that's effectively what they did, like a full DSG service.
Yes, which that's what the failure was basically. They did service, and I guess they may have just not torqued it down completely, but yeah. So good news is we have an answer for you, and something that probably get paid for by them. I would strongly recommend getting in touch with them on that.
Yeah.
To have everything written up, and I'll have pictures and all that in the inspection. Other than that,
can you show can you
can we
show
see
this
the
picture for the camera again?
So we'll get you on there if you don't want.
okay, fine.
So that was just how y'all found it.
Yeah, literally like just pulled in.
If you go to the doctor and they show you like an x-ray or something, or a report on yourself, and they show you a gaping hole, you're gonna be freaking out. But seeing it with a car, at least for me, you're also gonna be freaking out. The guy at Rocco's turned his computer screen around and showed me that the transmission fill plug was missing. Not loose, not broken, missing. And like we did not touch the underbody of this, like, because all the supercharger stuff was done. Yeah. So we didn't touch the front outside of, like, we were trying to get that bumper fitted. So we messed around with the headlight a little bit this week, but other than that, we haven't touched the powertrain in the slightest.
Yeah, no, the only way that happened is if you did a service on it. So yeah, I'm gonna write it up for you just so you have it as in a quote with pictures and all that. Definitely hit up about this.
Yeah, I've been talking to, and so now my whole world has just crumbled. I am like the Mr. Krabs meme. I'm like, what is going on? How is the transmission fill plug missing when the car was serviced at for the transmission? That's impossible, right? There's no way the car was just serviced for the transmission and the fill plug is missing. How is that possible? So, yeah, a phone call was in order.
Good afternoon. How can I help you?
Hi, if this is Miles.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I still wanted to, incorporate your shop in some way in the video. But we did run into an issue. We finished the tune install yesterday. Everything seemed fine. And then we noticed the car was smoking a lot under heavy load and leaking. Leaking oil. And so we took it to Rocco's this morning here in Marietta. And what they discovered is that the drain plug for the transmission was completely missing.
Okay.
We haven't touched the car mechanically in that sense at all. And I mean, and it hasn't been worked on by anyone else since then. And so, I mean, I'm not looking to point the blame game, but you guys were the last people to touch the DSG.
I get that. And so here's my reservations with what they're telling you. One, who it is that's telling you that. I know them. They have a reputation, and I'm not going to talk smack, but I don't usually believe anything they say on any of their locations. Okay. Secondly, if the transmission drain plug would have been missing when we refilled it and test drove it, it would have drained out all over the floor. So that's not possible. Because when we got it in, that was the problem. The transmission was basically dry.
Right.
So the car wouldn't be drivable at all. If the drain plug was missing, there would be no fluid whatsoever in the transmission, because that's how you do the drain.
So quick editor's note here. I kept mentioning that the drain plug for the transmission was missing, but it was actually the fill plug for the DSG that was missing. So it's not exactly the same part, but either way, this is a component on the transmission that was missing after getting the car back from this shop. So just wanted to clear that up.
Fill. So that's not even possible if the car was driven any distance whatsoever, and it would have been all over the ground. Not only when it was here, but when it was driven to where it has been for the last couple of weeks.
Right.
So,
Well, I guess
you
what
know,
what they alluded to is that it might not have been torqued to spec and somehow came loose.
Right. Okay. So, I'm sorry. I again, if it was coming from a more reputable shop, I might be prone to have a look at it and maybe take their word for it, but not them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying not. I don't like to talk badly about other shops.
Yes.
And I'm trying not to here, but I would not believe a word they told you.
Understood. I guess I'm just trying to to find a solution here, because effectively when you got the car, we got the car towed from your place, got it back to my cousin's, and then I flew in on Monday, then towed the car. So it literally has only been driven. Yesterday was the first time it's driven since before we got it to your shop, and we have not touched the underbody of that car at all, because we figured there was no need to. All we did was, touch up the bumper, install the tune, and that's it. So we haven't done anything that would have caused this drain plug to come unloose, and no one else has touched it.
And I believe you. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe that that's what was causing smoke, because we test drove the shit out of that car before you came and got it, before it was towed out. If the drain plug on the transmission would have been leaking when we test drove it, there would have been puddles that would have been noticeable. So, yeah. So I'm sorry. If we make a mistake, I'm fully happy to cover anything we do under warranty, but I'm not believing a word they tell you.
Okay.
It's not that I don't believe you, but I'm not believing their recommendation and what they said they found.
Got it.
But I have seen evidence of not only their work, but things that they've done in order to sell jobs that didn't really need to be done. If you catch my drift.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I have a friend that used to work for them, and he quit because of how unethical they are. And that's as far as I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anymore. But I repeat again, I do not trust anything they tell me about a car.
Yeah. I guess I'm not really sure where to go from here. Where is Karma located?
Karma it's in Decatur.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Karma.
Mm-hmm.
Karma VWOD. All right. Well, yeah. Call me if you need to. I want to help you, but
yes.
Again, the source is where I have a big problem with this. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you
Thank you
later. Bye.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Everyone's playing the fucking blame game today. You. So at this point, I don't know who to trust. We can't play this game of shops just pointing the finger at one another. I don't really know any of these guys. I just want the car fixed. And so at this point, I'm just I think this build might be doomed. This was the moment where I really thought I think this build might be doomed, and we maybe should have just never touched this car at all, because things get better temporarily and then just go 6 feet under. It's crazy. I don't get how this can keep happening, how we can just keep making so much progress and then just have all of that progress reset. And this time, it wasn't even our fault, because we didn't touch the transmission at all during any of the modification process. So it could have only been one of these two shops. And I'm just at a loss for words.
It's not even like we're back to square one. We're way past that. It really felt like this car was never gonna get on the road.
All right, Grant and I have been in the weeds with this Audi thing. So we're outside of Rocco's right now. We took the car this morning and are claiming that an entire transmission fill plug is missing. The last people to touch this car after the first breakdown was who did a DSG service, which would then require draining the transmission fluid and refilling it. Which, I mean, effectively, it would have been impossible for us to do the 30 plus miles that we drove on this car yesterday with a zero drain plug, because eventually it would not take very long at all for that fluid to be completely depleted from the car. But they're telling us that this drain plug is completely missing. There's one shop that's telling us we don't know about these Rocco guys, and then telling us we don't know about these Rocco guys. You know, and I personally don't want to badmouth anyone's business. I just want my uncle's car to be fixed. And so right now we're in a weird state of not really knowing who to trust with this, because I mean, I don't want to accuse them of anything, but there's how do we know that they didn't just go in there, take the drain plug out, say that it was missing, and then next thing you know, we've got a nearly $10,000 bill for a bunch of stuff they want to do to the car. There's no way to verify this. But my spidey senses are tingling, and the more I kind of talk to other people about just the pure logic of this scenario, the more I'm kind of just like, something is not adding up. So what we're going to do right now is source a drain plug, because I think we just need to get this car out of here and somewhere else for a second opinion. So we found someone, thankfully Wolfpen, shout out to the guys at Wolfpen, they sourced a drain plug for us to just get this car sealed up so we can get this out of here. We're going to have them, and here's the thing, it's like, we can give them the plug and the fluid. Who's to say they won't just like
not install it
or do something else crazy to the car? But we need to get it in a condition where we can just get it 2 miles up the road and have it looked at. But right now it's looking like this trip might be longer than I initially planned. Depending, really, today is going to be the day where we find out if I stay for another 3-4 days or not. But yeah, right now things are looking kind of weird. Something's up.
Something is definitely
Something's up, and
something smells fishy.
And someone's lying. Whether it's or Rocco's, I don't know. Because, I mean, I really don't know any of these guys. I mean, they've all been...
Yeah, me neither.
...nice and, like, courteous people. And, you know, after driving the car yesterday, outside of the PCV thing, there's, like, not many indicators that didn't do a button-up job with the car when they had it.
Yeah.
And, we got to get it out of here. So that's the next step. So in between dropping the car off at Rocco's and finding out about the missing transmission fill plug, we went to this shop called Wolfpen, which we know a couple of the guys there, a great team. We were just there hanging out and, you know, kind of gave them the backstory and the build and stuff. And so at this point, we're finding out what's happening. Doesn't want to do anything with the car. Rocco's is just like, yeah, we'll fix it, but, you know, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. We're like, I don't know where to go. I think this is screwed. And then telling Wolfpen everything that happened, they wanted to make things right. They wanted to really help us out. And so they took the car in. The guys at Wolfpen are super knowledgeable about Porsches and Audis and BMWs. They work on them all the time, and they're familiar with the typical modifications people do to these cars as well, which is all gravy. And so we didn't know what the damage was going to be, but we left the car at Wolfpen that night to then be looked at. And this was the same night that Vince is going to show up. And we didn't really update Vince on anything. So he has no idea that this car is currently undrivable. So that was gonna be really interesting getting to fill him in on everything that happened. So Vince, who helped us with part 1 of the build, had other stuff he had to take care of, and so he couldn't make it for most of the chaos. And so the past 24 hours we've been working on stuff, he's had no idea and has had 0 updates. The last he saw, the car was on the road and driving, at least if he saw the group chat. Yeah. So he actually has no idea the current status of the car and everything we've went through today and last night. So he's gonna be here in like 20 minutes, and we're gonna basically kind of like surprise him. We're gonna go outside and be like, are you ready for this reveal? Open the garage to there being no car in the garage, and then kind of show him everything that we went through today. So that will be funny to get his reaction, his actual reaction, because I'm telling you, he literally has no idea about everything that's happened to the car so far. So we're definitely gonna capture that moment.
So I was halfway through giving my housefly a bath, and then Miles sends me this video. He's treating the S5 like a Hellcat, and I'm thinking, it's finally done. We're almost to the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm thinking when I show up, I'm just gonna be there to help film the end result, maybe drive the car, and enjoy the fruits of Miles and Grant's labor.
Vince, what up?
What the hell is that abomination?
Oh, that's an X3. But we have a surprise for you in the garage.
So I drive to Atlanta in rush hour traffic, and I finally get to the Airbnb. I get out the truck, and Miles has a camera in my face. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, were they gonna reveal the car? Was something broken again? Whatever it was, I knew something was up.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Grant is in there. He's gonna open the garage door. All right. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
The garage door is opening. I'm expecting a completed project at this point. I saw the videos of it running already, so surely it should be done, right? Wait, there's no car.
There's no car. There's no car at all.
Is this a good sign or a bad sign?
Well, we're gonna have you sit down. We're gonna have you. The past 24 hours have been. The past 24 hours have been wild.
And so the garage door finally opens, and I see that there's a space where the Audi S5 should have been. And so I'm wondering what could have possibly happened from when he sent me the video the day before until now, where the car is just, is it broken again?
Miles and Grant would spend the next hour and a half giving Vince the lowdown on the S5 status, and they were to head to Wolfpen at dawn. The boys returned to Wolfpen to find the team's already been hard at work, not only fixing the DSG again, but installing the AWE exhaust system.
Wolfpen is a service and performance shop in Roswell, Georgia. We specialize in Porsche, but we're comfortable working on Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. When Miles, Grant, and Vince came into the shop to check out Wolfpen, it looked like they had been through a battle. And they told us about it, but until I watched the video, I didn't understand why. What got me was hearing the story about losing Uncle Phil to cancer and wanting to honor him by upgrading the S5. I lost my dad to cancer almost exactly 5 years ago, so hearing a story like that, I immediately go out of businessman mode and into fellow car guy mode. I also 100% identify with taking on a DIY project and then finding yourself in over your head. So when Miles called us after they broke down and said another shop was telling them a story that seemed a little fishy, we said, bring the car to us, we'll get you sorted out. Unfortunately, this industry does have a reputation for taking advantage of people, especially people who don't have a lot of mechanical knowledge. That's a big reason why we started Wolfpen in the first place. We wanted to be a shop where enthusiasts could bring their cars and know that we genuinely care. We also really love telling stories about cars, so we could sympathize with what Miles was going through. This was supposed to be a feel-good upgrade story, and then it went completely sideways. I can identify. The S5 was a little rough when it came in. Somehow the transmission fill plug had gone missing, which led to the faults that Miles saw on his drive, as well as all the oil under the car. We got that taken care of, and fun fact, that transmission holds almost 8 quarts of oil. And then we installed the AWE exhaust. Ironically, it went on very smoothly. I think that might have been the only smooth part of the entire project. Which reminds me of a piece of advice I would give to anyone modifying a car, but especially a car that's almost 10 years old. Don't assume that the car is in good mechanical condition before you start. We all tend to get excited about performance mods, service, not so much. But starting with a car that isn't leaking or smoking or making strange noises ensures that you have a good foundation for your performance mods and avoids the disaster that these guys ran into. Also, DIY is fantastic. We encourage it, but be careful about putting yourself on a strict deadline when you might not understand how long a job is going to take. Trying to do coilovers, a heat exchanger, and a supercharger pulley in a couple of days when you've never touched an Audi before is ambitious.
So the car spent the night at Wolfpen, and this morning it's been getting worked on, basically addressing the exhaust, which is now on. Shout out to Nick, the tech, who put on this AWE exhaust. These tips are looking really good. And then their transmission, they're servicing the transmission by firstly putting back the fill plug, which should have been there the whole time. Shout out. And then redoing the fluids in the car. So I mean, at this point, we still have the PCV fault, but that is something that we can technically drive the car without fixing for now. And I think that's what we're gonna do because time is limited. But I mean, once we get the new diffuser on, because I overnighted a new diffuser from ECS, and get that on, the car is kind of done, not 100% dialed in, obsessed garage level of completion, but I mean, it's done as far as we need it to be. And so today we made a shocking turnaround, so shout out to everyone here at Wolfpen. They absolutely saved us because yesterday me and Grant were in dire straits. We had no idea. Around this time yesterday, we had no idea what we were going to do.
We thought we were screwed.
Yeah, we were absolutely all hopeless.
We were screwed, but it was
yeah. All hope was lost.
Yeah.
And so we got it figured out. Shout out to Wolfpen. Everyone here has treated us like family, honestly, and that means a lot. And so once we get the diffuser on, we're gonna give this thing a first start so we can hear the exhaust, and then hopefully take this thing out on the road.
You guys want this at?
Right here. Right here.
So yeah, we're better than UPS. We save lives.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A dry test fit. That's definitely the right. That's definitely the right piece.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Hey, be careful with these clips right here.
Yeah.
This thing goes in. Yeah.
But this is the right piece.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. We're about to get the first start on the car with the new exhaust and the DSG fixed again. Let's see what it sounds like. Nice.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing screams.
And that's probably only like 3.5.
With the DSG now fixed and the exhaust installed, it was time to give the car its first proper shakedown. Well, more like its third shakedown, but you get the point.
But yeah, not a cold start because the tech drove it down the street just to make sure it wasn't going to blow up. But we're good. We are good. Let's give it a little.
This will be my first time actually hearing it moving now since the last time we were here.
Yeah. That's like 3.
That's a really nice tone.
Yeah. That plus the exhaust is like, now it feels like an actual like sports car.
Yeah.
Because before it was like just like a comfortable two-seater with crazy
Happen to have
supercharger
a
line.
supercharger, yeah.
Now it sounds like an
That's
actual,
nice.
an actual sports car.
Indeed.
You should have seen that guy's face. Did you see his face?
I didn't.
Oh my god. No smells either. That's another thing. There were so many smells when driving this car on Tuesday, and I was like, oh, it's just modified car stuff. It's fine. It's no big deal. And see how quiet it is when you're just at a standstill? This really is like the perfect, just like, I want a little bit more sporty. This is honestly just like what the car should have been stock. Honestly. So that's it. First drive, part 3. The car made it back without a tow truck. And I think we're all very happy about that. David hasn't driven the car at all. So tomorrow, I think, or Saturday probably, is when he's gonna get to experience the car for the first time. But it's singing, we got the AWE touring exhaust, but nothing is leaking and nothing is smoking. And we're not getting any codes. We're super happy with this. Tomorrow, we're gonna switch the wheels because we forgot to do that. And then put spacers all around, and then get the car detailed. And then she'll be nice and pretty and presentable. We've had like the same bird poop stain on the car probably since like the last time we were working on it. And yeah, we gotta address that. We gotta get her nice and cleaned up. She probably hasn't seen a wash in like months. So that's it for today, and the car made it back. Yes. So one last mod on the car before we get it detailed. We didn't really think about this prior to doing everything else we did to it, but after looking at the car and getting the suspension on the car, we were like, we kind of could use some spacers. So that is the very last mod we're doing to this car for this build. I overnighted some 10 mils from ECS Tuning. Those are going to go all around, and I think that'll give us just like the perfect fitment we're looking for. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get them on right now before the car gets detailed. So we got the spacers on the car. I'm not going to show you yet because I want to wait till this car is detailed to give you the full shebang when it's looking nice and clean, because this car, I'm looking right at it, hasn't seen a wash in a long time. It's pretty nasty. So we're going to get that handled, but I want to give a huge shout out to the guys at Wolfpen. 48 hours ago, I really thought we were screwed. I thought this build was a wash. I thought I was going to have to stay here like another week and spend more money on stuff and just like be stressed out and, you know, miss other projects I'm working on for this channel. And they came and really came in clutch. So shout out to Josh, shout out to Jack, shout out to Chris, shout out to Nick, the tech who worked on the car. Shout out to everyone at Wolfpen. They're here in Roswell, Georgia. If you ever have any European car needs, servicing, modifications, things like that, these guys are legit. One of the guys here, Josh, has a sweet 4RS that he took me on a ride in and was amazing. They know what they're doing with these cars, and they got us back on the road, which is the most important thing, and did so in a way that made us feel very confident. They treated us like family, and that means a lot. So shout out to the guys at Wolfpen. Let's get this thing cleaned up.
Watching the first video and seeing the trials and tribulations that Miles and Grant and Vince and David went through, I could tell those guys were forming new core memories. And in my mind, that makes the story of Uncle Phil's S5 that much better, and I'm glad we got to be a part of it.
Okay, so the car is getting detailed right now. They're almost done. Shout out to A1 Details. I'll link their Instagram in the description down below. I haven't seen the completed car yet, but from what I've seen so far, they're doing a phenomenal job. The car looks brand new practically. So David hasn't seen the car yet since we finished up everything. So he's gonna be here in probably like the next 10 minutes and see the car for the first time.
It was time for David to see his Pop's car in its completed form.
How's it going? Sorry to put you on the spot, but we wanted to catch your reaction to seeing it for the first time since we finished it up. It has been an ordeal for sure. Yeah, many things along the way have happened, which we've caught you up to speed on, but Mike and Sully here got the car right. Wolfpen got the car mechanically sound.
Nice.
And yeah, it's ready to go.
All right, man.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
I know I still need to get some replacement on bolts.
Yeah.
But it looks black.
Well, those are new ones.
Oh, seriously?
Because we put spacers on the car to kind of like
Oh, word. Thanks.
flush
man.
it out. Yeah. So the fitment is looking a lot better now.
Nice. And I see, yeah, the bumper. Like, it's funny. I think I told you what happened.
Yeah.
The pop that hit that.
Hit the deer. Yeah.
But it's fine. It don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
It's way better than before.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. I love how subtle it is. Like we said,
Yeah.
the skirts and then the spoiler.
Yeah.
This diffuser is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's when you had to have it overnighted?
Yeah, we had this one overnighted. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. No, this is legit, man. I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you for trusting us with this through the many ups and downs. You know?
Yeah, he'd be very pleased.
Yeah.
He would.
That's exactly what my dad said. He said specifically, your uncle would be very pleased. Yeah.
You know how we roll.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No cap though. He would be. He would be like, all right, Mello, I see.
Yeah.
You know how you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but this is clean as hell, man.
Yeah.
Now I just have to stay safe and not die in it.
Finishing it and realizing we're capturing all these moments and working on the car and just kind of like completing this project was satisfying for me personally. But to see my Uncle Phil's son kind of just see his dad's car not only brought back to life, but, you know, somewhat transformed and elevated, and seeing what his dad really wanted to do to this car the whole time, that was, and seeing his reaction. You know, my cousin's a very, just like his dad, not going to be super hyper expressive and emotional. He's one of those guys where it's going to hit him like a couple weeks later, like what really just happened. But I knew that he was really happy with it. It's surprisingly very tame. It's like, I mean, with the all-wheel drive, it's like, it's not gonna kill you, but it's definitely a lot more fun now. I think we were driving it before without the exhaust, but once we put the exhaust on, we were like, this is the final touch.
On the cake, huh?
Yes, and it's not like my car where it's like your neighbors are gonna hate you. It's the perfect amount of like loudness where it's like you can enjoy the car more, but you're not gonna be.
Start it up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still cold, so it'll be a nice cold start. We haven't run the car since last night.
You like to do it, huh?
In the interior, we got Mike and Sully got it completely like cleaned up.
Thanks, guys. It
Yeah.
smells real fresh. Even that idle is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have too much.
Yeah. And that was what, like 2,000 RPM? Like,
Not even.
yeah.
Like just low temp.
Now that it's cleaned up, it's car meet ready,
Yeah.
for sure.
In person though, I'm gonna be pulling up to
Yeah.
next week. Like, hey, you want it?
Yeah.
No, let me stop.
this looks like a 30, 40,000 mile car now. Like, super clean, super clean.
And it still is in like really good shape. So
Yeah.
you get some use out of all the mods.
Yeah.
Stuff. And I'm super happy.
Yeah.
I just want to drive.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
First drive is gonna be sweet.
Yes.
With the build now complete, it was time for everyone to give this thing a proper set.
Watching David drive the car for the first time was really gratifying. It was really cool just seeing him just genuinely enjoy himself and just have that pure car guy enjoyment. That really made all of this 1000% worth it, just getting to that moment.
Now, I've probably said somewhere on the internet that Audis generally feel just a little bit clinical compared to their BMW and Mercedes counterparts, but given the modifications we've done, it certainly feels a little bit spicier.
And I have a feeling that this is gonna kind of ruin an Audi for me, because I'm going to want what this is.
Drop a couple of gears. Oh my God. And it punches.
It wasn't until we put this exhaust on here that this car really just like came alive. Driving this S5 and this whole S5 experience that we've been doing has really opened my eyes up to all of the different possibilities that are in the Audi lineup, and I'm kind of loving it.
That all-wheel drive just pulls you out of the corner. And even though it has a little bit more weight up front because of that all-wheel drive system, it absolutely feels pretty nimble. Quattro system's always been incredible, and this is no exception. It's not bad at all. Oh my God.
These paddle shifters, this is my first time I've actually like driven a car with magnetic paddle shifters. They sound super clicky. I really like it. Never experienced anything like it, and I want more of it.
You can just punch it from a dig and it's gonna give you all the power and it's gonna put it down. It's not gonna spin. Honestly, so satisfying to get to drive this after all the work we've done to it. Good Lord, that supercharger sounds incredible.
Yeah, I have to calm down. You're a grown man. You have responsibilities. You can't be this hypnotic. Just because you have power doesn't mean you run around like Nero just throwing it around.
So, as with any German car, there's going to be some work we're going to need to do to make sure that this S5 is 1000% dialed in over time. But as far as the build goes, we're done. We finally made it. And so I guess now's the time where we do the typical cars with miles review thing, right? That's what I guess my job is here. So we'll start with the powertrain. Under the hood is a 3-liter supercharged V6, now making somewhere in the realm of 400 plus horsepower, running a stage 2 tune from 034 Motorsports. The mod's comprised of a new supercharger pulley, a new crank pulley, that's the 190mm crank pulley, and a new 034 cold air intake setup. We didn't do the high pressure fuel pump piston upgrade just because we're not going to be running E85 or E40 or any ethanol fuel, just regular pump gas. So that's all we needed for now, but we do have that part in case David wants to get a little bit crazy and upgrade it even further down the line. I love that we're running this setup that gives us even more room to grow down the line if we want. But this is a stout powertrain and it obviously makes some very cool noises. And then you can see right here we have the 034 heat exchanger, which is allowing the system to remain as cool as possible and pulling more power with the upgraded supercharger setup. But in front of that, we've got a brand new bumper. This is an RS5 style bumper from Canadian Motorsports. Shout out to Canadian Motorsports for sending us out. This really was the big transformation as far as the front end. Aesthetically, I love the way this looks. It doesn't make the car feel like it's trying to be an RS5. It just makes it look like a more aggressive S5. And you can see we have our, not so intentional Audi 4 rings delete. I was driving on the freeway and it just released itself at about 60 something miles an hour on the freeway. But honestly, me and the guys were talking about it over the past day or so, and we're like, I kind of like the look. It kind of has a like intentional, we have a bunch of horsepower under the hood look, kind of the same way you see cars with no headlights because there's an intake going through where the headlight should be. It's kind of got that sort of vibe to it. I like it. The honeycomb grille absolutely transforms the way this car looks on the front end, and I love it a lot. This is one of my favorite mods we've done to the car for sure. But of course you can't do a car build without having new wheels. That's basically mandatory, right? And so we have these 19-inch Flowform ZTF wheels from 034 Motorsports, and I absolutely love the way these look. They have a very classic, very understated, not doing too much sort of vibe, and the silver finish. I think people are starting to wake up and realize that silver wheels are kind of better than black wheels for the most part, or silver grayish wheels in general. I absolutely love the way it looks on the car, especially in combination with the 10mm spacers from ECS Tuning. Gives the car the perfect fitment and stance. And speaking of stance, behind these wheels are a new suspension setup, a coilover setup from Bilstein. These are the B16s, and it gives the car a much more sporty ride, but we'll talk about that a bit more when we get on the road and drive it. And then another mod we have that's super subtle but really effective are these carbon fiber side skirts from Canadian Auto Performance. Really is one of those things that you don't really notice too much because it just blends in so much with the car and gives the car a more sporty look, especially with this little fin at the end here. It looks really sweet. It honestly looks like a stock part, but elevates the car's aura levels a lot more for sure. And then to finish it up on the rear, we've got a couple of really important mods. Firstly, the carbon fiber spoiler from CAP. It just adds a sporty look to the rear and gives it a less soft vibe, gives it a more aggressive aesthetic overall. And then we have a diffuser from ECS Tuning as well, and I honestly think not having carbon was the right move for the diffuser because it matches the front end a lot more, as the front end of the new bumper is not carbon fiber. And so I think having just the gloss black plastic gives the car a really OEM plus sort of look. And then speaking of OEM plus, the AWE Touring catback exhaust system. This was the perfect system for this car, not only because it really matches the overall vibe of a build like this, but it overall matches the vibe of David, who's going to be driving this around and isn't the type of guy who wants to draw a ton of attention to himself. This really wakes the car up in a way that it was not before because the stock system is so quiet. This gives it that extra flair audibly. It really does transform the way this car sounds, but in a way that's not doing too much. Perfectly OEM plus build. I love this exhaust system, and I think it really is the most livable exhaust system you could have gotten for a car like this. And then on the inside, we've got our carbon fiber paddle shifters, but that is the build. That is effectively the build, and it can go further from here, but I think this is honestly just the right amount. This is exactly something that my uncle would have been happy with. Not doing too much, just the perfect amount of added fun to an already really good car. But it's time to take it out on the road and do the final drive. So it's hard to be unbiased when reviewing a car you spent hours, days, kind of months putting together physically and logistically, but I'll try to be as objective as I can. I'm a big V8 guy, you guys know this, but driving a supercharged V6, especially one that's been tuned the way this one has, it's easily one of the coolest, most interesting, most playful, most entertaining powertrains I've ever experienced. When people usually say, hey, my car is a screamer, it absolutely screams, they're usually talking about the exhaust. With this car, you're talking about just the engine itself. And It absolutely sings, whines all the way to the new 7,600 RPM redline, and it is a blast to experience, not to mention with the Stage 2 tune, we've got over 400 horsepower, and so with that in combination with Quattro all-wheel drive, you're getting pulled out of those corners expeditiously, we'll just say that. And it really is like a ferocious setup. Listen to that. It's absolutely epic, and our transmission is tuned as well. The DSG, the dual clutch, which, man, we've had quite the journey with this transmission. It's now snappier, more aggressive, and more fun to just go up and down the gearbox itself because we have these carbon fiber magnetic paddle shifters that just click, click, click. Yes, we've got some Audi steer, but the new suspension setup certainly helps. The car is lower, stiffer, but definitely sportier. It's firmer, takes corners more confidently now. I wouldn't say this is a track-ready build quite yet, but you could definitely take this on an autocross and be decently confident for sure. The experience as a whole is more than what I could have ever asked for with this setup. And then let's talk the exhaust. The AWE Touring Catback system. It is so chill and refined when you're driving the car, low RPMs, just cruising. It might as well be stock, but then as soon as you get on it, it gives the car that extra grunt, that extra growl, and you can hear it really well from the outside, as we've seen. Honestly, the perfect OEM Plus exhaust setup for this car. It really just is the cherry on top as far as how this car is dynamically. Is there anything I would change with this setup? I mean, maybe eventually I would get bored of the, 400 plus horsepower and try to go for a little bit of a higher number, which would only require a couple of modifications to do so. But other than that, man, I don't know. This car is just really, really fun as is. I enjoy it every time I get behind the wheel and drive it and get it up, go through the gears, and it's still perfectly livable. All of this stuff we've done, and granted, compared to something you would see at SEMA, this is very entry level, but with all the stuff we've done, this car is still so uncompromised. It's still a daily driver. It's still something you can use to just go get groceries. It's still something you could take on a nice long road trip without feeling fatigued or tired. These seats are very supportive, but also very comfortable. I'm honestly jealous that my M3 doesn't have a setup as far as the seat style like this. This isn't really about what I think about the car. It's how I think Uncle Phil would have thought about the car. I think he'd be happy with it. I really do. I really think he would enjoy driving this car. He would probably never show it. He would probably never really make it known to me how much he really enjoys it, but I feel like he would. And knowing that, that's what makes me feel like we did it. We did what we set out to do. When he came to me that one day at the apartment and was telling me he wanted to do something to his S5, I feel like this is what he would have wanted. This is what would have really made him feel like he had a more elevated experience of a car he already really enjoyed. And so with that, I think that's where we end this. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey and being a part of this wild ride. This is easily the most tumultuous, most logistics heavy, most emotionally taxing, mentally taxing, financially taxing video I've ever done, period. Not just a car video, period. And so if you enjoyed, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for future content like this. Probably not another build video coming soon, but I mean, who knows what the future holds.